One who understands the secret book of John not only knows the history of the cosmos, but recognizes their own eternal story. Elaine Pagels, religion historian and Gnostic text specialist. Imagine a text so powerful it had to be buried in the desert to survive. A manuscript that for nearly 2,000 years remained hidden from those who sought to destroy it. This is not just another lost book of antiquity, it is the Apocryphon of John, a text containing revelations so profound about the nature of your soul and your purpose on earth that it was systematically suppressed by those who feared its liberating power. What if you discovered that before birth, your soul inhabited a realm of pure light called the Pleroma? What if you knew that in this state of elevated consciousness, you yourself planned the challenges, relationships, and lessons you would face in this life? This is the revolutionary truth that the secret book of John preserved through the centuries, knowledge that completely transforms our understanding of who we are and why we're here. Found in 1945 in the caves of Nag Hammadi, Egypt, this Gnostic text survived an intense campaign of destruction. Why were so many efforts made to erase its existence? The answer is simple and disturbing. The knowledge contained in these pages empowers the individual in ways that threatened established control structures. The Apocryphon of John is not just a religious text, it's a cosmic map of your soul's journey. It reveals that you are not simply a physical body born by chance in a chaotic universe. You are a divine spark, temporarily forgetful of your true nature, sent to this material plane with a specific and sacred purpose. This manuscript describes in impressive detail how, before birth, your soul exists in a state of pure consciousness in the Pleroma, a Greek term meaning fullness. In this realm of perfect light, you are not separate from the divine source. You are part of it, immersed in infinite wisdom and connected to all other souls. Unlike what many dominant religious traditions teach, the secret book of John affirms that you are not a sinful creature in need of external salvation. Rather, you are a divine being who has temporarily chosen to forget your true nature as part of a journey of self-discovery. The text reveals that your soul, in its infinite wisdom, designed a meticulous plan for this incarnation, a cosmic blueprint personalized for your spiritual growth. This knowledge was considered dangerous because it eliminates the need for intermediaries between you and the divine. If each person understood that they carry within themselves a spark of divinity itself, and that they have direct access to cosmic wisdom through gnosis, direct spiritual knowledge, what power would remain for those who based their authority on controlling access to the divine? The teachings of the Apocryphon of John find surprising parallels in other spiritual traditions around the world. In Tibetan Buddhism, the intermediate state between lives known as the Bardo Thodol describes a similar pre-birth planning process. In the Hermetic tradition, the Emerald Tablets speak of the correspondence between higher and lower realms. As above, so below. But what makes the secret book of John truly unique is its detailed description of the Pleroma and the process by which your soul chose its current incarnation. This text doesn't just claim that you planned your life before birth, it explains why and how this happened. What would you discover about yourself if you could access this divine plan? What secrets about your life purpose are encoded in this ancient text that survived against all odds? Prepare for a journey through the depths of the Apocryphon of John, where truths about your cosmic origin await those who have the courage to look beyond the veil. At the heart of the Apocryphon of John, we find the most detailed description of the Pleroma that has survived from antiquity. This is not an abstract concept or a distant paradise. It is the primordial realm from which your soul emerged and to which it will return. It is your true home. The manuscript describes the Pleroma as a realm of pure light, inhabited by beings of perfect consciousness called aeons. These are not separate gods, but emanations or expressions of the one divine source, the ineffable Father, also called the monad. Each aeon represents a different aspect of divine consciousness, and together they form the fullness of spiritual reality. When the text was discovered in the sands of Egypt, scholars were impressed by the sophistication of its cosmology. The secret book of John not only describes the structure of the pleroma, but also explains how this realm relates to our material reality. Between the two exists what the Gnostics called the veil, a barrier of forgetfulness that separates us from the remembrance of our true nature. The manuscript reveals that before your current incarnation, your soul existed as a conscious spark in the pleroma. In this state of expanded consciousness, you had access to all cosmic wisdom and could clearly perceive your evolutionary path. It was in this realm of perfect clarity that you, along with other souls and spiritual guides, designed the plan for your current earthly life. The text describes this pre-birth planning process in surprising detail. Your soul, in its infinite wisdom, carefully chose the circumstances of your birth, the relationships you would form, the challenges you would face, and the lessons you needed to learn. Nothing in your life is accidental. Every experience, even the most painful ones, was selected with divine purpose. The soul that knows its origin in the pleroma can never truly be a prisoner of the material world, says the text. This is a revolutionary statement that directly contradicts the doctrines of original sin and eternal damnation that became dominant in Orthodox Christianity. In describing the pleroma, the Apocryphon of John uses poetic and evocative language. It speaks of light within light, of living silence, and of an eternal embrace between all souls and the divine source. The text suggests that although our physical bodies are separate from each other, at the soul level we remain deeply connected, a single consciousness experiencing itself through countless individual perspectives. This vision of the pleroma as our true origin has profound implications. If you are, in essence, a divine spark temporarily incarnated, then your journey on earth is not about earning salvation or avoiding punishment. It's about awakening to your true nature through gnosis, direct experiential knowledge. The manuscript explains that upon entering the material plane, your soul agreed to pass through the veil of forgetfulness. This forgetting was not a punishment, but a necessity for authentic human experience. If you completely remembered your divine nature and the plan you created, the lessons you came to learn would lose their transformative power. However, the secret book of John teaches that even through this veil, your soul maintains a connection to the pleroma. This connection manifests as a persistent sense that there is something more beyond this material world, an inner calling that many experience as spiritual nostalgia or longing for a home they cannot name. When we compare these teachings with other traditions, we find remarkable parallels. In Tibetan Buddhism, the Bardo Thodol, Tibetan Book of the Dead, describes how, between lives, the soul chooses its next birth circumstances based on its karma and the lessons it needs to learn. In the Hermetic tradition, the axiom, as above, so below, reflects the Gnostic idea that our material world is an imperfect reflection of the pleroma. What makes the description of the pleroma in the Apocryphon of John so powerful is its intimacy. This is not an abstract theological concept, but a vivid description of your true spiritual home. A place that, at some deep level, you still recognize and long for. Have you ever felt an inexplicable familiarity with certain people upon meeting them? Have you experienced moments of sudden clarity about your life purpose? These might be fleeting memories of the pleroma leaking through the veil, reminders of the plan your soul created before you were born. What choices did your soul make in the pleroma before your current incarnation? What agreements did you establish with the other souls you now encounter as family, friends, lovers, and even adversaries? One of the most profound teachings revealed in the secret book of John is the concept of spiritual contracts, sacred agreements your soul made before incarnating. These are not contracts in the earthly legal sense, but conscious commitments made in the pleroma to facilitate mutual spiritual growth. The manuscript describes how, in the expanded state of consciousness of the pleroma, souls gather to plan their future incarnations. In this divine planning, each soul takes on specific roles in the lives of others, creating an intricate web of relationships designed to catalyze spiritual awakening. Each encounter in the material world echoes an agreement made in the light, says the text. This revolutionary statement suggests that there are no coincidences in your life. Each significant person you meet represents a spiritual contract in action. Your parents, siblings, romantic partners, close friends, mentors, and even your greatest challengers. They are all souls with whom you made specific agreements in the pleroma. Some agreed to support and nurture you. Others accepted the more difficult role of challenging you, sometimes deeply, to catalyze your growth. The Apocryphon of John teaches that these spiritual contracts are based on unconditional love and divine wisdom. Even the most painful relationships in your life were planned with a sacred purpose, not to punish you, but to awaken aspects of your divine consciousness that would remain dormant in more comfortable circumstances. This perspective radically transforms how we view difficult relationships. The person who broke your heart, the absent father, the tyrannical boss, according to the secret book of John, these souls took on challenging roles out of love for you, knowing that these painful interactions would serve your spiritual growth in ways that gentler experiences could not. The manuscript details how these spiritual contracts are structured around specific learning themes. Some souls commit to helping you develop compassion, others to strengthen your courage, still others to teach you detachment or forgiveness. Each contract is meticulously designed to address exactly the lessons your soul chose to learn in this incarnation. A fascinating aspect of these spiritual contracts is that they often involve alternating roles across multiple lives. The soul, who is now your child, may have been your parent in a previous life. The partner who betrayed you may have been someone you deeply hurt in another incarnation. The Apocryphon of John suggests that these role exchanges allow each soul to experience both sides of every relational dynamic, leading to deeper, more compassionate understanding. The text also reveals that these spiritual contracts include activation points, specific moments in your life when subconscious memories of the original agreement may emerge. These are often experienced as powerful sensations of déjà vu, instant connections with strangers, or moments of sudden clarity about the purpose of a difficult relationship. When the soul recognizes the divine purpose in an earthly encounter, the veil momentarily lifts, teaches the manuscript. These moments of recognition are portals to gnosis, the direct experiential knowledge of your true nature and purpose. The understanding of spiritual contracts in the Apocryphon of John resonates deeply with teachings found in other traditions. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reveals to Arjuna that his actions on the battlefield are part of a greater divine plan. The work of contemporary researcher Michael Newton on past life regression documents consistent accounts of pre-birth planning that remarkably mirror the teachings of the secret book of John. The manuscript emphasizes that although these contracts are established before birth, you maintain free will in how you respond to them. The plan is not rigid or deterministic. It's a flexible script designed by your own higher soul. At each moment, you have the freedom to choose how you will react to the situations you co-created. This understanding of spiritual contracts offers a deeply compassionate perspective on human relationships. When you recognize that even your greatest challengers are playing roles they agreed to take on out of love for you, resentment can transform into gratitude. The text suggests that this recognition is, in itself, a form of spiritual awakening. Who in your current life seems to be playing a crucial role in your spiritual growth? What lessons have these souls agreed to help you learn? And what roles have you agreed to play in their journeys? As you contemplate your relationships through this lens of spiritual contracts, you may begin to discern patterns and purposes that previously remained hidden. This is the true gnosis that the secret book of John offers, not just intellectual knowledge, but experiential recognition of the divine plan operating in your life. What would you discover if you could clearly remember the contracts you established in the Pleroma? Diving deeper into the teachings of the Apocryphon of John, we find a sophisticated understanding of the universal laws that govern both the Pleroma and the material world. These are not arbitrary laws imposed by an external deity, but intrinsic principles to the very structure of consciousness, patterns that your soul fully understood and incorporated into your pre-birth plan. The manuscript describes three fundamental laws that operate at all levels of reality: the law of karma, cause and effect; the law of vibration, energetic frequency; and the law of attraction, manifestation through resonance. These laws are not presented as systems of reward and punishment, but as natural mechanisms through which consciousness evolves and expresses itself. The soul that understands these laws becomes a co-creator with the divine, teaches the text. This revolutionary statement suggests that, far from being a victim of random circumstances, you are an active participant in creating your reality, both before birth in the Pleroma and now in your daily life. The law of karma is described in the Apocryphon of John not as a punishment system, but as a principle of balance and learning. The manuscript explains that your soul, in its infinite wisdom, chose to experience both the role of causer and receiver of various actions across multiple incarnations. This is not a process of debt payment, but of complete experiential understanding. The text reveals that in pre-birth planning in the Pleroma, your soul carefully reviewed its karmic patterns from previous lives and designed specific experiences for this life that would allow for the resolution and transcendence of these patterns. Some of these experiences may seem challenging or even unfair from the limited perspective of the human personality, but from the soul's viewpoint, they are perfect opportunities for growth and liberation. The law of vibration is presented in the manuscript as the principle that everything in the universe, from thoughts and emotions to physical objects, exists in a state of energetic vibration. The Apocryphon of John teaches that, in the Pleroma, your soul exists in a state of extremely high vibration, characterized by unconditional love and perfect wisdom. Upon incarnating in the material world, your vibrational frequency temporarily decreases to allow for physical experience. The text explains that your pre-birth plan includes a vibrational trajectory, a path of gradual elevation of your energetic frequency throughout life. The challenges, relationships, and opportunities your soul chose are precisely calibrated to facilitate this vibrational elevation, allowing you to progressively realign with your true nature in the Pleroma. The law of attraction is described in the secret book of John as the mechanism through which your energetic vibration attracts corresponding experiences. The manuscript teaches that this law operates at both conscious and subconscious levels, manifesting not just what you consciously desire, but also the deeper belief patterns established in your pre-birth plan. What the soul attracts is not accidental, but a reflection of its divine plan unfolding, says the text. This understanding radically transforms how we interpret the events of our lives. Synchronicities, chance encounters, and even unexpected challenges can be seen as perfect manifestations of the plan your own soul designed. The manuscript reveals that your pre-birth plan includes vibrational anchors, specific experiences designed to elevate your frequency at critical moments. These may manifest as transformative encounters, sudden insights, or even crises that force growth. Each of these anchors was carefully positioned in your life timeline to support your spiritual evolution. This understanding of universal laws in the Apocryphon of John finds notable parallels in other traditions. In the Kybalion, a foundational Hermetic text, we find the same principles expressed as the 7 Hermetic laws. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches Arjuna about the law of karma yoga, the understanding that actions performed with detachment from results release the soul from karmic bonds. What makes the teachings of the Secret Book of John particularly powerful is their integration of these universal laws with the concept of pre-birth planning. The manuscript suggests that your soul not only understands these laws, but consciously uses them as tools to create the perfect curriculum for your spiritual growth. This perspective offers a radically different understanding of the purpose of difficulties in your life. According to the Apocryphon of John, the challenges you face are not punishments or accidents. They are carefully designed opportunities by your own soul to transcend limitations, resolve karmic patterns, and elevate your vibration. The text teaches that although the veil of forgetfulness temporarily obscures your conscious remembrance of these laws, you can reactivate this knowledge through gnosis, the direct experience of your true nature. When you recognize and begin to work consciously with these universal laws, you become an active co-creator of your reality, aligning with the plan you established in the pleroma. What events in your life seem to reflect these universal laws in action? What karmic patterns might you be working to resolve? What experiences seem to have elevated your energetic vibration? As you contemplate your life through the lens of these universal laws, you may begin to discern the profound wisdom behind your pre-birth plan. A plan you yourself created in the expanded state of consciousness of the pleroma. What would you consciously manifest if you fully remembered your power as a divine co-creator? At the heart of the teachings of the Apocryphon of John, we find the concept of the veil of forgetfulness, a metaphysical barrier that separates your human consciousness from the full remembrance of your divine origin in the pleroma, and the plan your soul created before birth. This veil is not a punishment, but an intentional and necessary part of the incarnation experience. The manuscript describes this veil with poetic and evocative language. It speaks of a cloak of forgetfulness woven with the threads of matter, of a temporary sleep of the inner divinity, and of an eclipse of the primordial light. These metaphors capture the paradoxical nature of the veil, simultaneously a limitation and a sacred gift. The veil that obscures the remembrance of the pleroma is also the stage upon which the soul performs its divine drama, teaches the text. This revolutionary understanding suggests that the forgetting of your true nature is not an obstacle to be lamented, but a necessary condition for the authentic experience your soul chose to have. The Secret Book of John explains that before incarnating, your soul in the pleroma had complete awareness of its divine nature and access to all cosmic wisdom. In this state of expanded consciousness, you meticulously planned your earthly journey, selecting the birth circumstances, relationships, challenges, and opportunities that would best serve your spiritual growth. However, for these experiences to have genuine transformative power, it was necessary for you to temporarily forget that you had chosen them. The manuscript compares this to an actor who must forget they are acting to give a convincing performance, or to a dreamer who must forget they are dreaming for the dream to seem real. The text reveals that the veil of forgetfulness is not uniform or absolute. It contains what the manuscript calls portals of remembrance, specific moments and experiences designed into your pre-birth plan to allow temporary glimpses through the veil. These portals may manifest as déjà vu experiences, inexplicable connections with people or places, vivid dreams, or moments of sudden spiritual clarity. When the soul recognizes a portal of remembrance, the veil momentarily becomes translucent, says the text. These moments are opportunities for gnosis, the direct experiential knowledge that transcends intellectual understanding and reconnects you with your true nature. The Apocryphon of John teaches that the ultimate purpose of your earthly journey is the gradual dissolution of this veil through gnosis. This is not a process of acquiring new knowledge, but of remembering what your soul has always known, that you are, in essence, a spark of divinity itself, temporarily experiencing separation for the purpose of spiritual growth. The manuscript describes 3 stages in the dissolution of the veil. The first is the calling, a persistent sense that there is something more beyond material reality, often experienced as spiritual nostalgia or a search for meaning. The second is the awakening, moments of clarity in which you recognize aspects of your pre-birth plan unfolding. The third is complete remembrance, the stable realization of your true divine nature and purpose. This understanding of the veil of forgetfulness in the Apocryphon of John resonates deeply with teachings found in other traditions. In Plato's Republic, we find the myth of air, which describes how souls drink from the waters of the river Lethe, forgetfulness, before reincarnating. In the Vedic tradition, the concept of Maya refers to the cosmic illusion that veils the true nature of reality. What makes the teachings of the Secret Book of John particularly powerful is its assertion that the veil, while real, is ultimately an illusion that can be transcended through gnosis. The manuscript suggests that each challenge in your life was specifically designed by your soul as an opportunity to penetrate this veil and recognize your true nature. The text also reveals that the veil of forgetfulness has different densities in different areas of your life. There are aspects of your pre-birth plan that are more easily accessible to your current consciousness, often related to your natural talents, unexplained interests, and deep connections with certain people. These are areas where the veil is thinner, allowing the light of your soul wisdom to shine through more clearly. Conversely, there are aspects of your plan that remain deeply veiled, often related to your greatest challenges, irrational fears, and repetitive patterns. The manuscript teaches that these areas of thick veil often contain your most important lessons and most significant growth opportunities. The density of the veil is proportional to the transformation potential it conceals, says the text. This understanding offers a radically different perspective on the areas of your life that seem most dark or problematic. Far from being flaws or punishments, these are precisely the places where your soul planted the seeds of your greatest growth. The Apocryphon of John teaches that while the veil of forgetfulness is a necessary part of the human experience, it is never complete. Even in moments of greatest confusion or suffering, a part of you, what the text calls the inner divine spark, remains aware of your true nature and purpose. This spark is the source of intuition, conscience, and the spiritual longing that many feel even without understanding its origin. Have you experienced moments when the veil seemed to temporarily lift? Have you felt inexplicable connections with people, places, or knowledge that seem to transcend your experience in this life? As you contemplate your journey through the lens of the veil of forgetfulness, you may begin to recognize these moments as intentional glimpses of your pre-birth plan, carefully placed reminders by your soul to guide you back to the remembrance of who you truly are. What would you recognize about your true purpose if the veil became completely transparent, even for a moment? When the Secret Book of John was rediscovered in the caves of Nag Hammadi in 1945, it did not emerge alone. It was found as part of an entire library of Gnostic texts that had been carefully sealed in clay jars and hidden, likely by monks facing persecution. This discovery was not just an archaeological accident. It was the fulfillment of a prophecy contained within the manuscript itself. These words of truth will be hidden for a time, but will re-emerge when humanity is ready to remember, says the text. This remarkable statement suggests that the manuscript itself was aware of its destiny, to be suppressed, hidden, and eventually rediscovered at a critical moment in human evolution. The Apocryphon of John survived against all odds. During the early centuries of Christianity, Gnostic texts like this were systematically destroyed for being considered heretical. Its survival and rediscovery in the 20th century is not just a historical accident, but part of a larger plan for the reintroduction of this transformative knowledge at a time when humanity is ready to receive it. The manuscript concludes with a profound revelation about the ultimate purpose of pre-birth planning. It teaches that your soul did not create your life plan merely for your individual growth, but as part of a larger cosmic project of collective awakening. Each soul that incarnates brings with it a unique piece of the divine puzzle, a specific aspect of consciousness that it is destined to express and share. Each soul is a ray of the primordial light, sent to illuminate a specific corner of darkness, says the text. This revolutionary understanding suggests that your life purpose is not just about your own spiritual evolution, but about your unique contribution to the evolution of collective consciousness. The secret book of John reveals that in the pleroma, your soul not only designed your individual plan, but also coordinated with countless other souls to create an interconnected tapestry of purposes. Your life plan is intrinsically interwoven with the plans of all those you encounter, forming a pattern of meaning and purpose that transcends any individual journey. In the pleroma, souls dance together in perfect harmony, each individual movement contributing to the divine choreography of the whole, teaches the manuscript. This powerful metaphor captures the collaborative nature of pre-birth planning, a process in which billions of individual souls consciously co-create a shared reality for mutual benefit. The text explains that your soul, in its infinite wisdom, chose to incarnate at this specific moment in human history because it possesses unique gifts, talents, and perspectives that are particularly needed now. You are not here by accident. You are part of a wave of souls who agreed to be present during this critical planetary transformation. The Apocryphon of John contains a remarkable passage that seems to predict our current era. It speaks of a time when the veil between worlds will become thinner, allowing many to remember their divine purpose simultaneously. It describes an epoch of great turbulence and awakening when ancient knowledge will resurface and new understandings will be born. This description resonates deeply with the spiritual, social, and technological transformations we are witnessing today. The manuscript teaches that each soul's pre-birth plan includes activation moments, specific circumstances designed to awaken aspects of your divine purpose. These moments often coincide with periods of personal or collective crisis, for it is precisely when the veil of ordinary reality tears that new possibilities can emerge. The soul that awakens to its divine purpose becomes a beacon for others still asleep, says the text. This understanding suggests that your own awakening process of remembering who you truly are and why you're here benefits not just you, but creates a field of resonance that facilitates the awakening of others. This vision of collective purpose in the Apocryphon of John finds notable parallels in other traditions. In Mayan cosmology, we find the concept of time cycles designed for the evolution of consciousness. In Hopi tradition, prophecies speak of a time of purification followed by a new level of human consciousness. In Vedic teachings, the concept of yugas describes cosmic cycles of spiritual forgetting and remembering. What makes the teachings of the secret book of John particularly relevant for our time is their emphasis on the participatory nature of spiritual awakening. The manuscript does not describe planetary transformation as something that happens to us passively, but as a process we actively co-create through our individual and collective choices. The text reveals that your pre-birth plan includes seeds of remembrance, specific experiences, encounters, and insights designed to awaken your memory of the pleroma at strategic moments. These seeds were planted not just for your benefit, but to catalyze waves of awakening that extend far beyond your immediate sphere of influence. Each soul that awakens creates 1,000 opportunities for others to awaken, teaches the Manuscript. This understanding offers a deeply hopeful perspective on the power of your individual journey. Your own realizations of gnosis, moments of spiritual clarity, and recognition of your true self directly contribute to the elevation of collective consciousness. The Apocryphon of John concludes with a vision of humanity's ultimate destiny, not as an apocalyptic judgment or external salvation, but as a gradual awakening to our true divine nature. The Manuscript describes a time when the veil will be completely dissolved and Earth will become a conscious reflection of the pleroma. This is not a prophecy of escape from the material world, but of its transformation through our awakened consciousness. The text suggests that the ultimate purpose of the divine plan is not to transcend matter, but to completely infuse it with the light of divine consciousness, creating what it describes as a new heaven and a new earth. Fides, the Manuscript emphasizes that this transformation does not occur automatically or through external intervention, but through the individual awakening of countless souls who have chosen to incarnate specifically for this purpose. You are one of those souls, a conscious participant in this great planetary alchemy. Those who remember their divine purpose become living portals through which the light of the pleroma flows into the world, says the text. This understanding suggests that by awakening to your true nature and consciously living from it, you become a conduit through which transformative energies can enter our collective reality. The secret book of John leaves us with a profound question. If you could completely remember the plan your soul created in the pleroma, what unique contribution would you recognize that you came to offer the world at this critical moment? This is not just a philosophical question, but an invitation to gnosis, to the direct experiential recognition of your divine purpose. The Manuscript suggests that the answer already exists within you, in the divine spark that never forgot its origin in the pleroma. When you align with this inner wisdom, your life becomes a conscious expression of the divine plan you yourself created. The challenges you face are revealed as sacred opportunities for growth. The relationships you form are recognized as spiritual contracts for mutual evolution. And your unique contribution to the world naturally emerges from the authentic expression of who you truly are. The Apocryphon of John is not just an ancient text, it is a living portal to the remembrance of your true nature and purpose. As you contemplate its teachings, you are participating in the very awakening process the Manuscript describes, reconnecting with the wisdom your soul possessed in the pleroma before your birth. What aspects of your divine purpose are you already expressing, perhaps without fully realizing it? What unique gifts, perspectives, or qualities do you bring that are especially needed in the world now? The final invitation of the secret book of John is not to seek answers outside yourself, but to turn within and recognize the divine wisdom that has always been present. As the text concludes, the light you seek already shines within you. Remember who you are, and the veil will dissolve. By sharing your unique light with the world, living consciously from your divine purpose, you not only fulfill the plan your soul created in the pleroma, but directly contribute to humanity's collective awakening. This is the deepest truth revealed in the secret book of John, that through our individual awakening, we together co-create the realization of the divine plan on earth. Do you already feel the call to remember? What part of the cosmic plan did your soul come to fulfill? The answer awaits your discovery in the silence of your own heart, where the wisdom of the pleroma has never ceased to shine.